Hello and welcome to Edupedia World. In this tutorial, we are going to continue with the collections and we were studying list into that. So this tutorial is list part 2. So let's begin. Guys, particularly for studying collection, I would like to recommend a book that is Sun Certified Programmer for Java. This is a sixth version. If you want, you can also purchase the seventh version, since seventh version is to be purchased, and this version is free of cost, available on internet, so you can download it. And to study collection, you can just navigate through the index of this book, and you'll see that chapter number 7, that is generics in collection, is the chapter that I'm talking about. So let's go to that chapter directly without wasting any more time. Okay guys, so this is a chapter of generics and collection. So today, since we are studying lists, so I'm going to go through this chapter, and in this tutorial we'll particularly concentrate on list. Okay guys, so I'm going to start it from here. It will contain a slight intro of collections and then straight away to list. Okay, so it talks about collections and then it talks about the key interfaces and classes of collection framework. So when we talk about framework, so we name it as collections framework because collections is just a name, but the actual name of the interface is only collection. Fine, so these are all the interfaces we have already seen: collection set, sorted set, list, queue, navigable set, navigable map, sorted map, and map. Fine. So these are the concrete classes of collection. You can see we are having a hash map, hash set, array list, priority queue, collections, hash table, tree map, tree set, linked list, linked hash map, and so and so. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about, and there's a difference when we talk about collection and collections. Well, collection with a small, with a lowercase c actually represent to any data structure which can be iterated over, like we can say collection dot iterator. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about, and then we have collection with a capital C. It is actually java.util.collection interface, and when we talk collection with a capital C which ends with S, we are actually talking about java.util.collections class that holds up a pile of static utility method which uses for collections. Okay. Now this is a interface hierarchy. You can see we are having collection, then it's divided into set, list, and queue, and thus set is having an interface like sorted set, navigable set. So these are interfaces and these are classes. This is like linked hash set and then tree set, and then we have array list and then vector. Then we have linked list and then we have priority list. Okay. On the other hand, we are also having map interface. So you can see in the map interface we are having sorted map, then we are having a hash table hash map, and an interface navigable map. Similarly, we are having a linked hash map class and a tree map. Okay, so this is a hierarchical representation of all the classes and interface of collection framework. Okay, now let's see the four basic flavors are list, set, map, and queues. List actually stands for list of things. Set stands for unique things. Map stands for things with unique ID, and queues means things are ordered in which they are to be processed. Okay, so I'm going to skip. I'm just going to, not go into details, just see a graphical representation. This is a graphical representation of list where, depending upon the index values, the list is stored. Then we are having a set in which there is no duplicate element, and here is a hash map in which we are having hash buckets, and each bucket is having a unique key, and then each key is assigned to a particular value. But there are subflavors within those four flavors which are sorted, unsorted, ordered, and unordered. I'm not going to study all of that, but I'm covering this tutorial just to let you know how you can study this chapter yourself, but I'm also covering each and important part of this chapter, so that once you get to this chapter on your own, you'll get to know exactly what does this line mean and what you have to do. Now let's begin from the list interface. Well, a list cares about the index, and the only thing that list has that no list don't have is a set of methods related to the index. Those key methods includes things like get, index of, add, and so on. All the three list implementation are ordered by index position. So when we talk about three list implementation, so it's talking about array list, vector, and linked list. So right now, stack is not in the scope of Java, so that's why we are skipping stack and only concentrating on the three of the implementation. Fine. So all the three implementation are ordered by the index position. That means a position you determine by, either by setting an object at specific index or by adding it without specifying position, in which case the object is added to the end. Fine. The three list implementation are described in the following section. So this give you just what is array list. So it says, think of this as a growable array. It gives you fast iteration and fast random access. To the state the obvious, it is an ordered collection by index but not sorted. So when we talk about array list, it's not sorted, rather it's just ordered collection. Then you might want to know that the version 1.4, the array list now implements a new random access interface, that is a marker interface, and then the meaning it has is no method that say this list supports fast random access. Choose this over a linked list when you need fast iteration but aren't as likely to be doing a lot of insertion and deletion. Then we have vector. Vector says like vector is a holdover from the earliest days of Java. Vector and hash table were two original collections. The rest were added in Java 2 and version 1.2 and 1.4. Basically, vector is basically same as array list, but vector methods are synchronized for thread safety. Now the linked list. A linked list is ordered by index position like array list, except that the elements are doubly linked to one another. The linkage gives you new method. That means each and every element is, linked with each other through a linkage, and for adding and removing from the beginning or the end, that is, you can do that easily in a linked list. The easy choice for implementing is stack or queue, and the linked list is little more slower than array list to iterate because you cannot directly iterate using an index. Rather, you have to traverse the whole linked list to go up to a particular method. And some of the other important methods are peek, pull, and offer and linked list. Okay guys, here we go. This is about ArrayList basics. So it says java.util.arraylist class is one of the most commonly used of all the classes in collections framework. It's like an array of vitamins. Some of the advantages ArrayList has over arrays are that it can grow dynamically. It provides more powerful insertion and search mechanism than arrays. Let's take a look at using arrays that contain string. The key design goal of our collection framework was to provide rich functionality at the level of main interfaces. Okay, so this is how you declare an array list, and after Java 5 you can declare it like that using generics. These are some of the method. You can see we are doing add into the array list. We can calculate the size, do contains. Okay, and this is the output that we'll get by using these methods on array list. Okay. Now auto boxing with collection, that means you need not write new integer. You can simply put an integer over here. So collections do have a sort method, which will work fine if you are inserting a primitive or a string type of sort. So if it's a normal string type or a predefined Java object, then it's fine, it will work for that. But if it's your own class that the array list you are creating for and then you do apply sort, then in that case it won't work. Okay, so we'll see that in the future. So like this you can sort actually your array list using collections.sort and pass your array list into that. So this will give you a sorted array list. Okay, so let's see this example as of a while. So you can see that what we are doing over here is we have created a array list which contain DVD info. Okay, now DVD info is our own predefined class. It's a class that we have defined ourselves. Then we are calling popularity list and then we are doing SOP DVD info. So the output that you will get is something like this using popularity list. It is giving you the list of songs. Fine. Now what if you apply sort method on DVD list? Oops, you get an error which will be cannot find the symbol sort. Why so? Because collection.sorts will only work on the primitive types or the string type. That means on those objects which are predefined in Java. Fine, that all those classes that is having the implementation of sort. For example, in a string class there is a implementation of sort given. So the collection.sort method can work for a string by taking a string input, because the collection class sort method can take a simple string input. So if your array list contains only string, it will work fine. But if your array list is a object of a class, although that object also contains string, but instead of a string, if it's a object of a class, then you need to override the sort method in your own and then try to do sorting yourself. Okay, so this is how you get an error. Now what we do in this case, let's say if we are having a sort, we want to sort a DVD list. How do we do that? Well, for that we are having a interface known as comparable. The comparable interface is used by collection sort method and java.util.arrays.sort method to sort list and arrays of objects respectively. Fine. Now to implement comparable, a class must implement a single method compare to. So comparable is the interface. Your class needs to implement that interface and need to override the compare to method to compare two objects. Okay, so you can do like this object dot compare to and then pass another object. This will give you an integer. Now if that integer is negative, that means this object is less than another object. That means the thing on the left hand side is lesser. The calling object is lesser. Okay, if it is 0, equal. If it is positive, then the comparing object is greater than the another object. Okay, this is how compare to of comparable interface works. Now this is a whole example you can see over here. So we are having a DVD info class. Now we have made this class to implement the comparable interface. Again in comparable interface we have given of a type DVD info. Fine. Now inside this class we are actually overriding the compare to method which returns a int value. So when we override it, we can actually compare anything. Since in DVD info we are having, 2-3 data members such as, we were having the title, then we were having song name or maybe a genre. Then, and how do we want to sort? We want to sort just by comparing the title. So we can simply compare the title. Again, you can see we are using title dot compare to and then we are sending the dot get title. Okay, so in line 1 we have declared that class DVD info implements comparable in such a way that DVD info object can be compared to another DVD info object. That's why we passed here DVD info. Then in line 2 we implement compare to by comparing two DVD info objects title. Since we know that title are strings and strings implement comparable, this is a easy way to sort our DVD info. Okay, since strings also implement comparable, so they can be compared using compare to method, the strings. Now let's see the whole of the code. So you can see DVD info implements comparable. We have title, genre and read actor. We are having a constructor. We are also having toString method, and then over here we have overrided our compare to method. Fine, then we have some getters and setters. Now if we try to do collections.sort and pass DVD list was our array list. Then we'll get a sorted list based on the titles. Okay, so this is what we wanted. Now, there is also one more thing which is known as comparator. So comparable is one of our interface that we have already seen. There is another interface known as comparator. Let's see what is it up to and what does this will do. Well, there is also one more way of sorting, that is using comparator. The comparator interface gives you an capability to sort a given collection any number of different ways, and the other handy things about the comparator interface is that you can use it to sort instances of any class, even classes you can't modify, unlike comparable interface which forces you to change the class whose instances you want to sort. Okay. The comparator interface is also very easy to implement, having only one method, that is compare. Here is a small class that can be used to sort list of DVD info instances by genre. So you can see over here we are implementing comparator and we are passing DVD info into that. And when we implement comparator, we need to override the compare method, int compare. Okay. And then inside int compare, we can actually pass two objects. So I am passing even 1 and 2, that is 2 DVD info object, and I can actually compare it to genre. Okay. So now the comparator compare method returns an int whose meaning is the same as comparable. Okay. And the return value is also exactly same. In this case, we are taking advantage of that by asking compare to do actual comparison work for us. Okay. Here is code for comparable and comparator both. So we can look at both the codes. So you can see over here we are having test DVD. Okay, test DVD is one of our class where we have created our DVD list, which is an array list of DVD info. Then inside our main we have called go method. When we check go method, first of all it is doing populate list. It's fine. Populate list is just populating the list. Then we are printing the DVD list, that is to read the output from file. Okay. After that, we are applying collections.sort and doing passing DVD list. After that, again we are printing a DVD list. Okay. So this is the implementation of Go. After that, we are also making another class which is GenerySort. Okay. And we have created an object of GenerySort.js, and then we are passing collection.sort. So we are actually passing the DVD list that we want to sort. Okay. So when we say the DVD list that we want to sort means there is a single DVD list that we are sorting. And then we are also passing another parameter which is GenerySort. GenerySort is the object of the class GenerySort, and GS is the object. So we are passing that object. And then we are printing DVD list. Okay. And let's see what is the output. Okay. So you have already seen the first two output list. Here's the third one. When we say the first two output list means about for this, like when we did this and when we did this, that is using collections.sort, which is working on your comparable interface. Now this is something collection.sort version of a comparator interface. So this will work for comparator interface. Let's see the output for this. So you see, this is the output. Then that means because the comparable and comparator interface are so similar, so their output would also be something similar. Okay. Now why do we need a comparator interface when we have a comparable? Okay. Well, the answer is that the comparator interface sort method actually takes two arguments. Okay, so it will give you a capability to sort a given collection in different number of ways. So you can even sort it to a title, you can even sort it to a genre. Okay, so that means you can sort it in different ways. Fine. So now this is a comparison table between comparable and comparator. You can see in this table that in comparable we are having compare two methods, and in comparator we are having compare method. Compare method take one object and two object, whereas comparable just take single object. The output for both two is same, and for comparable you must modify the class whose instance you want to sort. Okay, and for comparator you actually need to build a separate class from the class whose instance you want to sort, because object 2 will be of a separate object, okay, which you are actually comparing. Now in comparable, only one sort sequence can be created, whereas in comparator you can create many sort sequences. Now, where comparable is implemented? Well, comparable is implemented by string, wrapper classes, date, and calendar. Okay, and what about comparator? Well, it's meant to be implemented to sort instance of a third party class. Okay, guys, so thank you very much. Let's meet in the next tutorial.